Hi. Hi. Welcome to the stream. Today, my network is working, so we can work on the inventory system. I have no fucking idea how I want to make it. I mean, I have ideas on where to implement it, but not on how to make it. I suppose I need to implement it in player composition, that's for sure, because it needs to spawn only when the player is in. Otherwise, you shouldn't be able to open the inventory. Seems normal to me. I want the inventory to contain the state of the player, so for example, the sanity and the... Oh my god, he's doing something stupid again. It's fine. So the state of, for example, the state of the sanity, so how, like your level of sanity, your level of health, your level of stamina. Probably not the stamina actually, but yeah, health and sanity, just so you can actually see it if you need. But it's not really useful to see it, because there will be overlays anyway. That's one thing. So you have just this info hidden inside the menu. I want all the tools that you gathered for puzzles, so it just needs to be like a block or an item that has like an icon. That's pretty much it. And I want a tab for all the notes you gathered with a total completion of all the notes you gathered, so you can have all the, like, you can know how many notes there are in the game and stuff. Which is not really complicated, but yeah, having the notes and being able to read them, which would open technically a menu to read the notes. So yeah. So first let's do something smart. We're gonna create an input. The next dialogue, which is all of that, yeah. So we want a new... Yeah, we want a new stuff. So add a new action here, if I remember correctly. It needs to be open inventory, so open inventory or toggle inventory. I want also an escape, which is quit menu, which is just gonna be an escape. Keyboard key or filter by listening for input escape. So okay, that's one of the things. So you can actually do that to escape stuff. Inventory would be I for the moment, just because I think it is good. We can also have tab if we want. Do I want a map in the game? I don't think I will. I might if I see that in any kind of like if I see people being lost in playtest, but for the moment they will know that I want some maps. So we have that toggle inventory and quit menu. Two things that are really important. Toggle inventory being just toggling the inventory, and quit menu quits any menu, so I need to have that. Everything that is a menu will be either in the player composition or something that I have by it. Oh, what the fuck is she doing? Okay, I see. So... excellent question, what do I do then? Where do I put that? Because putting it in the player composition seems to be a bit odd. Yet... I have the scene manager, right? If I put an inventory manager, would that be okay? Create new folder. Inventory manager. Or menu manager instead of inventory. In-game menu manager. Or just menu manager. Seems okay to me. So then I don't have just the inventory, I have everything, and then the inventory is managed by something else. Because the state of the inventory should be safe between games. Not completely, but to a certain extent, I guess. Create a new scene, 2D scene, I'm okay with that. We're just gonna call that the menu manager, I guess. So that's our friend, the menu manager. If I go into, for example, here, yeah, that's how it is, so... Menu manager, we have that. Would that be a... Can I put a control? Or should it just be a full control? I think it doesn't have to be like that. I think control, just changing that to a control type. Question is, does they have like, or okay, maybe they are. I would like that, but yeah, HUD. Heads-up display. Pretty interesting to see. The final piece of our gun needs heads-up display. So yeah, that's what they put into the heads-up display, but for this test, which have this one, which is the HUD, which is a scene that they import. So that's something you can have. But then there is no good ways to do it, so at least I don't know of. So we will consider the menu manager to be a heads-up display. Not be a control node by default, I think. Because to me it makes more sense. And then we just allow to fire it with some key. So that's something we can use, yeah. We can attach a script for that, for the menu manager. Extends control, we don't want a name. Why? Because it will be... I'm actually gonna do that now. It's gonna be a global. It's gonna be a global because it's a manager. Globals, managers, menu manager, TCN, add. So it's already a global. So it doesn't have a name. Otherwise it will create conflicts. That's why. So it's already named as a global itself, whatever. So menu manager, we have that. And then I want sub-managers here. So inventory managers and stuff. So it actually like manage those himself. Which is just only menu related. Which makes sense to me. So at the child node, we want a control node that's gonna call that the inventory. Maybe just say control node and then you call that inventory. And I want a new control node. Because at that point, let's do that, the pause menu. So, pretty simple. Let's rename that the inventory menu because it's technically a menu. And that's pretty much it. So, like that, I can actually define stuff and make the control nodes and stuff inside here. So I can actually define them. The menu manager should take the entire space, I think, for the layout. User properties to something on where you, okay, I know. Anchor preset, I want to be full rect. So the menu manager takes the entire space. And that's it. Would that stop me from clicking? This is a good question. Would that stop me from clicking? No. Also, I have the doors now here. They look bad, I know, but they exist. Yay. Oh. Oh. Oh, if I do that, then... Oh, yeah. Oh, that's... Yeah, there are so many issues with my doors. Yeah. I will need some work. I will need some work. But yeah, whatever. So anyway. So even having the full rect doesn't actually do something. I think it's okay then. Then I like to layout. Same. I would like position or transform. No. Can I? Anchors. Prefer you to be anchors. So yeah, and same. Layout, anchors, rect, transform, like that. So you all have the same good position. Okay, whatever. Seems okay to me. Let's have also a pause at the moment. So quit menu being quit. So we need a new action, which is gonna be pause. It's gonna be on escape as well. Oh, that's gonna be interesting actually. How that works. But yeah, we'll see how that works. Let's try to just make a pause menu because it's really easy to do. Yeah, I know, but it's not hard to do. Let's just do that for the moment and see if it happens, and then we can do the rest. VBox container inside, and then I want add a channel, which is gonna be a button for quitting, for continuing, for options. So we need continue button. Here we would want settings button. Then we will want, good question, settings. So continue settings, no save, you save in save rooms, so no. Load button, that's for sure. I would argue like that. And I'd like to add a new channel, which is another button. Hold on. Okay, yeah, no. So continue button, load button, settings button, and good question, quit. Quit button, and we want one more that will be a tile screen button. So tile screen button, just like that. And so in the layout, I want you to be in anchors, and I want you to be dead center. Yeah, you're small, but yeah. Transform size, I'd like the white size to be at least 300. But then I want you to be anchored in center, so let's say for right and then center. Okay, I'm gonna go fuck myself, I guess. So and if I say H center like that, but then I can actually put margins, right? No. Can I define the length, the size? Can I say this is size like that? And then position, so that was that, right? Let's divide that by 2, which is 640. It's already a lot. And then divided by 2, which is 320. So you put it there. I'd like you to be smaller, actually. Like 320, so you are 640. Or maybe not. You are 320 plus... so 320 plus... Can I have a plus here? Perfect. So yeah, you're centered. This is an anchor, I guess. So yeah. So let's next, which is the continue. So just, you know, just so we see everything. It won't do nothing, by the way. Continue. A load. There. Settings. Tile screen, and we want the quit. Pretty easy, that's the pose, that's what we want. So as you can see, we have everything we want here. So now in the inventory manager, we want to actually do something, and this time we're gonna do it ourselves. So menu manager, menu manager here. So I want the process. Is there a way to handle input? Handle inputs. I think there is an handle inputs. Input. The input singleton results key presses, mouse, balance, and movement, gamepad, and input. Okay, so that makes sense. I think there is. Oh yeah, I know. Not that. I know what it is. If I go into my state machine, So state machine unhandled input. So that's that. Unhandled input. So here. No. Pass. The fuck is an input event? Attack vectors for input event. Okay. So now we want some input event. So input event. Oh, using input events. Actually, there is a tutorial for that. That's great. That's what we want. Using input events. Managing input is usually complex no matter the OS or platform. Yes, it is. To use this little special bit type. Okay, so unhandled inputs. If event is input event key. Every input is originating from the user. Like that is really fucking creepy. Viewport function of a window, focus window, input event, guy event, shortcut input event, unended key input event, unended input event, physics speaking event. Okay. Okay. Event that pressed and event key code equal key escape. However, if it is clear enough possible to use the provided input map, which allows you to define input action. Yeah. So we don't want to do that, so we'll just do it in the process then. Fine by me. It's a float and I need to be explicit with that. It does void, and so you don't knowing. So if okay, so we need a match. Do we? Yeah, we need a match. Not really a match, but we need to actually have the inputs. So menu inputs. I think it's a const, so maybe like that. That would be better. Menu inputs. We have. It's a dictionary, right? So we want that as a dictionary. Dictionary of two things. String name. My work. So we have pose, which is gonna be pose, I suppose. I mean, I do it like that, but it can also just be anything. It could be an array of string name, actually. Yeah, it could be an array of string name, just in the menu inputs, because the name is pretty logical. What are my name again? So it's pose, quit menu, to go to inventory. It's pretty easy. So pose, quit menu. Yeah, I need a comma. I need a comma. It's not like Nix. And to go to inventory. Actually, I stand corrected. I want it as a dictionary, so then I can check for those when I'm doing something. So here, quit. So it's easier for me to manage. And so yeah, I know it's gonna cry because what the fuck, this is not an array, this is a dictionary. And you know what? You're right, but be patient. Dictionary of string name. And so it's really important we have that. So now we're gonna have some fun. That we have everything here, we need to do if inputs.is action pressed menu inputs pose. Then what do? We actually get the pose menu. So we need to also know if there is a menu that is open. Var is menu opened, which is gonna be false for the moment. So is menu open true, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna show our friends. So we need a const, which gonna be, or maybe just an already var actually. Already var pose menu, which is gonna be this pose menu, and then we want the pose. We want the pose to be inventory menu, and just like that here we want that. Okay, so that's 2 inventory menu plus menu. So what we do if is menu open true, so we do we're gonna do that. Func open menu, that's changing context but it's fine. Func open or toggle menu. Toggle menu, only one menu can be open at a time. That's important to know. So toggle menu, we want the menu. That's a node name, right? So node control, gonna be easier like that. Toggle menu, and we do nothing. So if is menu opened. Oh, I need to know which menu is open, by the way. Not just if a menu is open, but menu opened. Menu opened. For the moment it's null, but we want it to be a control. If menu opened, then what we do, pretty simple. If there is a menu opened, we do menu open dot hide, and menu open null, easy, and we return. Other than that, we do menu opened equal node, and menu open dot show, and we don't need a return because it's already done. So now we toggle the menu, pose menu in that case, and we want the function handle quit action. So pretty easy. If menu opened, then we do menu opened hide, and we do menu opened equal null. And actually we can do that here, which would be just toggle menu would be close or open, so we can actually separate this function. Close menu with a node control. So no, close menu is okay because you just need nothing. Close menu, and then we will want a function that is open menu, which uses a node this time. So which menu do we want to open, of course, and we do nothing and the return. So opening the menu is just that, and so easily, but we can say open menu. We don't need a redundant check, I don't care. I'm just gonna consider that you know what you're doing when you do that, so that's not a problem. So close menu, and then we have open menu for the node, perfect. And for this one, if menu open, you close menu, so everything is okay. So we have the handled one, so okay. And if input is action pressed again in the menu input, we want the quit, just for the test. We're gonna handle quit action, which could just be that, honestly, instead of putting it that way. Makes a lot of sense in my opinion. And so if input is action just pressed, action pressed, menu inputs.inventory, and then what we do is we do toggle menu, inventory menu, and so pretty easy. Not the most complicated to do, not the most complicated to change. There won't be a lot of menus, but it's pretty easy to do it like that. And then each of the menu will actually manage their own stuff. So it's easy like that. Normally what happens... Oh yeah, I also need to define the solution that... Yeah. The menu manager is annoying to a certain extent because it should be disabled sometimes, but not all the time. So for example, it should be disabled when you start, but not before. So that's something I will have to consider. But it's okay. Let's start the game normally. Oh yeah. That's, yeah. I need to do that first. And then, yeah. Let's start the game normally, and if I do that... Interestingly enough, if I do escape, it doesn't work. So, why? Because I'm asking you to open the menu pause. Can I get the action that is pressed? You know what? Oh, you know what? I think it's easier like that. Print in toggle pause. I would like that to be last one. Print in handle quit, just so we have the idea. And let's try again. I'm in toggle pause, but it's clicking multiple times. That's interesting. The clicking is too long, so is action pressed is not solution. Just pressed then, I suppose. I think pressed doesn't work because it's actually doing it really fast. So pressed, and then I just want to just before. Let's try with that. That might be why. Okay, but it doesn't show the menu. There is a menu when I do that. In toggle pause, you see it there. And as you can see, it doesn't work. Oh, and to handle the quit, I actually... Okay. If menu opened, I need to do that. I need to do it there. If menu opened and input is action just pressed, menu inputs quit, then you do the close menu. And this is why that should not be there. Yeah. Yeah, I think. But yeah, I'm just getting ahead of myself. Still, if I do that in toggle pause, I still have the thing, but it does not show. But if I do that... No, I don't see it showing on the screen. It should be above everything normally. And it doesn't show in the screen. Which means this menu manager should actually... not be a global. Or does it? I'm gonna remove it from the global. Just to check, because that will simplify my life, I guess. So let's just do that. I remove that from the global. And then in the player composition, I want to add it directly. So... it's also a child scene, which would be... menu manager. So we have the menu manager here. Because that's so... Oh. No, it's on the viewport, so it doesn't change anything. But then if I decide to start the game and I do something, it does nothing here. And if I open the game... Oh, wow. Oh, that's kind of funny. No. Okay, integral pose. Okay, that's kind of funny actually. Yeah, because it's in a scene now. It's not instantiated next to it. It's in the scene, so technically speaking... Ah, that's kind of funny, okay. But this is not what we want. This is kind of funny. Oh my god. And I can... It doesn't toggle, by the way. Like, I can... It feels like I'm actually opening it all the time. Yeah. Doesn't make sense. That's funny, though. It doesn't close the menu, though. Normally we have menu open, hide, and menu open node show, and menu open hide, and menu open null. Would that be... Ah, I don't know. Do we get into the close menu? Print in close, just so we see. I'm just gonna test that first. And then we'll see. No, I'm not in the... Okay, I'm not in the close. So apparently the menu is not defined. What? Menu open is defined when you open the menu. So that's what happens. You give the node and then... Does that mean you can't find it? Does that mean you're unable to find the node? No, because you actually find the node. The node is your friend. And it's a control node. What is your type? Your type is node. Oh, it's a control node. Let's do that first. Let's type directly. Not that it will change anything, but you know. Yeah. When we go into the toggle menu, we give the pause menu. And normally it's supposed to just close it. It never goes there. What is the value of pause of menu open? Let's just check. What's the value of menu open when I do that? Null. Null. It's still null. Sure. Sure. So how do you show yourself? Because technically speaking, I give you the node. Because I print menu opened, I'm not in close, then I get into the open menu. And so I do that. That's interesting, you find it that it's null. Hmm. Do I need to get your node path? Like inventory menu, pause menu. We know those. So it needs to be a node path. Yeah, I know. It won't work like that, but that's fine. Can I resolve? Get child. Menu opened. Hide. What do you mean get child? Oh, it's an index. Get child by path, I suppose. Okay, how do I do it in the state machine? I know I do it like that in the state machine. Okay. Transition to next state. State get path, transition to next state, okay. So it's a node path. How do I transition to the fucking... Okay. As node. Then get path, get node directly. Okay, so I can just get node, get child. Get node. Okay. And so when you open like that. And same, so get node. Menu opened. Oh no. Menu opened it equal node.getPath, I suppose. Get path. And so we want the node show. Easy. So now it's the same thing. Normally you're supposed to have a node path. Node path looks like that. It's better to actually have that type as a node path. And now, would that work? Absolutely no fucking idea. But let's try. I mean, it does, but it doesn't change the path again. That's so weird. Why would you... I tell you to open the menu, I give you the node, and you're not able to actually change the value of the path. That's weird. That's weird. Can I do that then? No, it doesn't change anything. Why? So I have the path. I have the path. It exists. But why don't you want to fucking change the path? That's a real question. So weird. Why don't you want to, I just want to show and hide you, that's it. Oh, I'm using Neri. That's the that's the Windows Manager I'm using, yeah. I'm using Neri. But, like... The bar is custom, it's a way bar, I have a lot of custom stuff. And recently I discovered Quickshell and I kinda want to actually redo everything with Quickshell. But yeah. So yeah, just Neri. Also, hi, welcome to the stream, by the way. The good music for that. Fuck me, dude. Why the fuck don't you want to actually work? Like... I'm confused. Why does that... doesn't that work? Like, I have the var. The var is supposed to be updated, right? Do I need to rename this function? I mean, good. Doesn't stop me. Maybe that's the issue, I don't know. Maybe I'm conflicting with something. That's a possibility. Oh, this is not what I wanted to do. I mean, that works. That doesn't change nothing, so yeah. My naming convention was good, so I'll just go back to that. It's weird that it doesn't save the path. I don't get it. I don't get it. Or is there another way to actually do that that is way better than what I'm doing? That's also a possibility. But yeah, is there... Okay, let's change the type. Let's see. What do we have in terms of control? In terms of control node, we have a container, we have text direct, text edit, graph edit. Okay. Range, separator, line edit, main. Yeah, main, that's fine. That's my control. Tether precision, that's my control as well. Video stream player tree, rich text label, reference rect, panel, 9 patch. So menu bar, is that a menu bar that creates a menu for each pop-up menu child? Okay. So nothing that tells me that what I'm doing is not wrong in terms of hierarchy. But now, why the fuck don't you want to work? Why the fuck is the path not enough for you? This is interesting, actually. Also, probably should actually... Ah, I might actually be able to do that then. Okay, you know what? Let's do it like that. I know that sounds stupid to a certain extent, but... Yeah, it's not like that. Better. Would that work? Would you be able to understand that? Normally process is after ready, right? Or maybe... No. Do I unready your ass? I'm gonna unready your ass just for the test. Unactivated identifier. Yeah. Because I need that. That's why. So if I unready your ass and then I know toggle menu, blah 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 blah, we want that as a not path. With then the open menu, which is gonna be also a not path. Not path, and we don't want not get path, we just want node, and then we want get node of node and show. So easy, it doesn't change a lot, but you know, might actually work. Who knows? Also, might actually work. Who knows? Let's try again. I mean, works. Oh, but I maybe know why. I maybe know why. Oh, yeah, because I know. Yeah. Okay. Let me. Yeah. I know why, because I got there. So what happens? Okay. The pause and the quit button are the same. So when you go there, technically speaking, the option I just pressed is menu quit and the menu open is different from that. And so by just putting the return here, it works. Doesn't change nothing. That is just the same thing. It just works. So, yeah. This is just me being a dum-dum, but no, that works. So, I think it's fine. Also, please do it like that. So everything is typed correctly. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna use the not path. That's fine. That's fine. I don't think that incurs any, like, an unnecessarily high overhead. That's for sure. Also, can I actually throw a signal when I get hidden or shown? Good question. Because if that exists, then I have something that is really important to do. What signals do you have? Emitting when the node going focus, emitting when the node loses focus, emitting when the node receives an input event, most entered, most exceeded, resize, theme changed. Focus entered. Can you focus those? Oh, interesting. You can actually focus those. As focus, grab focus. Something that I need to do, not just show, but I need to grab the focus. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna call that var node control. Forget node. Okay, and then we can do that. Not what I wanted to do. Alright, to control. And same for this one here, which is control. We want the menu opened in that case. And then I want that to tuck control hide, and I want to lose focus, so release focus, I suppose. Yes, okay. I've been having fun with Godot, been thinking about using it instead, but I've been too lazy to actually swap yet. It's nice. I used to work a lot with Unity until they did their PR stunt, the El Famoso PR stunt. So I'm not touching Unity with a 10-foot pole now. But I've been using Godot for a long time. It's nice. My only problem, but that's pretty much my fun. That's a personal preference, is that everything you do in GDScript, every file in GDScript is considered as a class. So you're forced into always doing object-oriented programming. I'm not a fan of that, gotta be honest, but sure. I didn't test the GD extensions yet. I would like to actually try either in C++ or Rust, but you need to actually install those, so it works. You can do it in C# if you have background in that, so I think it's fine. For what I'm using it and for the small quote-unquote small game I'm making, I think it's okay, but I can't tell you if it's good for 3D projects. I don't have enough experience to tell you if it's really efficient for that or not. From what I saw, it seems to be nice, especially if you work with Blender. But in terms of graphics pipeline and rendering pipeline, I would argue Unreal Engine would be better suited for something a bit more spectacular to a certain extent. But, you know, Godot might work as well. But it's not bad. GDScript is really simple to get your hands on. Albeit some little problems that you have to consider, like you need to think about what's under the hood sometimes, but not too much. So it's nice. The syntax is okay. I don't like the tab for indentation that you have to always indent to actually make the code work, just like, you know, Python do. I don't like that. But it's a choice that I respect. Not a fan of it, but you know, it works. So yeah. But either way, if you want to work in a certain language, usually there is a GD extension for that, and that seems to be interesting. Didn't try to actually set them up. Also didn't try to set that up on NixOS, because I'm working on NixOS as well, which would be probably harder. I don't know. So yeah, it's pretty much my experience if you want. So as for system, we have that. Let's try that. Can I put that on top? Or maybe I don't. Maybe I actually need to, in the inventory manager, the transform node ordering. The Z index, you should be on top of everything. So then, if I try again... Oh yeah, something that is good but I don't use a lot is... yeah, doesn't work, but fine. Something is good is the hot reload. You can do a lot of modification with hot reload in Godot, which is kinda okay. But... I don't use it that much, because the game compiles in like... barely any time, but you know. For biggest project, I'm sure it's useful. For what I'm doing now, I'm just doing the old compile and then try, but yeah. Still, with this big of the index, it still doesn't want to actually work. I think my problem is that it should not be in the player composition, but then it doesn't show, right? Let's do it again, just for the globals again. Let's try that again, you know what? Sure. Let's try that again, and we'll see. So... I know what's gonna happen if I do that. Yeah. But then it doesn't show. Yeah, as you can see... This is the middle of the scene here. I know. Yeah, okay, I need to really fix my doors. Oh, cat. Why can't you go? Boy, this is... There is a link. There is a navigation link. You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to be able to do it. Yeah. I really need to fix my doors. There. It's fine. It's fine. It will be a fix for later. Another one. But still, it works when we go into normal stuff, but when I switch the scene, it doesn't do it. How can I do that? That's a good question. How can I do that? Because if I change... So I don't think a global again should be an ID. I'm gonna assume it's never a good ID. So class name, menu manager. Alright. But then if I change the scene, what I want is I want something to have it. Probably the camera, right? Maybe I can do it there. Maybe I can menu manager. Maybe I can do that. Oh yeah, the installation is weird. I need to do that. Alright. Okay. So now it follows. But it does not, like, I grab the focus. But then I should... So I should get all the inputs. Then. In fact, I should actually, when I do that, I should sync all the inputs inside my, my new menu. I think that's what I need to do. So might need to actually create a way. Can I tell it to grab all the inputs handled or not? Is that a way I can do? Can I do that? Oh, focus mode maybe. The light can focus on mouse click using the R1 and tab. Okay, or use the D-pad button on the focus accessibility. Use with focus mode. So I can define the focus mode of the node. Okay. Okay. So if I can do that, then the question is out. Focus mode, I want you to focus all. And same for you. Might be the solution, actually. So now... It is not the solution. I tell you to grab the focus, yet you're still trolling me. This is not fun. This is weird. At least it follows the camera and is on top of the player. That's one thing that we can give. So I'm okay with that, but I should not be able to move. Or I could consider that any menu open actually pauses the game. So toggling the menu, when I open the menu, I pause the game. Is there a way to pause the game? I'm sure there is, but I don't know where. So pausing games in process mode. Easy. Get tree paused true. Okay, so pretty easy for us. We can just do a get tree. 2D will be stopped for all nodes. Second behavior will stop and start depending on the process node. Okay, so pause true, and then for this one we want pause false at the end, just to be sure when we grab the node. Doesn't necessarily change everything. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Posed, not posed, that's why. Posed. Yeah. Does QA base your accent French? I am a dirty American, I cannot tell. I am French, indeed. You told right. Like, the first try, actually. But yeah. Perfect, I can't move. That's gonna do it. Oh, but then the process... Oh. But then I can't process. Because I'm pausing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, of course it will do that, yeah. Surely. Yeah, because it doesn't process anything. There's a note to do. Okay, oh, but I can define that. Cool. Where? Again. Process mode, not... okay, and then the process. Okay. Mode. Always. And now it works. Normally. Perfect! It works! Yay! Okay, and I can click the buttons. The buttons do nothing for the moment. But yeah. I'm in the inventory, but there is no inventory. So yeah. Perfect. Perfect. Also, yeah. It's still not... Okay. It's still annoying because it actually follows the canvas modulate that I have. I wish it did not. I wish it did not. I wish it actually stopped the canvas modulate. That's one thing. But I can actually do a signal to change that before I do the pause. That deactivates the canvas modulate for any level or for any canvas modulate, but then it's a bit dirty. Physics interpolation, visibility, modulate, self-modulate, show behind parent, no. Top level. When not generated source for parent canvas item, its drawn order will also be changed to make it draw on top of the canvas item that do not at top level. Oh. Clip children, which is... Allows the queue not to include child, not essentially asking as a mask. Oh yeah, I don't want it to be a mask, I don't care. So if I do it as top level, would that work? No, because if it's top level, it actually doesn't follow the camera. So this is something that is an issue, but then I don't want you to modulate. Change should be kept to this control rectangle if you put it. Okay, I don't care. So, how can I do that? Do I need to stop the shading? That seems weird to me. Do I need to put... You know what? Let's try something. That's gonna burn our your eyes and mine as well. I know. But let's try something, okay? I have no reason to think that it wouldn't work, but, you know. So, layout, I want you to be linkers, and I want you to be full rect, of course, and then... Because if I do that, that will look like that, okay? So that will look like that. I know. I know. That's gonna be terrible for our eyes. I know, okay? But then, would that work? The texture are not loaded, by the way. You need to reload, if I remember correctly. Even like that, my texture rec is not showing. So... This is annoying, to say the least. I'd like you to be on top of everything. Just like you are supposed to be on top of everything. Yeah, your Z index is high. Yeah, fine. No, not relative. Doesn't change anything though, but not relative. That's for sure. Because if I do that, then sure, but then imagine I move the camera using that, then yeah, you don't see something. Like if I do that and I move away, it's in the middle, and so it's unreadable because of the canvas. Because of the canvas. But I have a texture rec, right? Yeah, I do. So, Oh, my bad, sorry. So... try to ask them. Godot... Control... Node... Not... Modulate with canvas... Modulate. Can we do that? To not be affected by that, yeah. Yeah, the canvas modulates. One way I know of is to add a canvas item material to the node you want to not be affected by canvas modulate and set light mode to unshaded with all the consequences from that, so only practical in situation where this is fine. Then we do setting shadow material, which you know the okay. So we're gonna do that, I guess. Texture... no. So it's in the canvas item, texture material. New canvas item material. And then I need to make it so you don't modulate. One way I know is to have a canvas item material to the node you want not to be affected by canvas modulate and set light mode to unshaded with all the consequences from that. So only practical in a situation where this is fine. I mean, in my opinion, this is fine. But then, can I change that? Light mode unshaded, okay. Probably would work. I have no idea. Let's try. I need to try that move. No, because it's still shaded. It's still shaded. Blend mode. Whatever, particle animation, resource. Okay, can I do you like that? So, okay. Subtract, multiply, doesn't change anything. Multiply alpha, so mix makes more sense. And you still don't want to do it. Do I need to do that for the pose menu then? Or can I make you inherit the canvas material of your parents? Material. Use parent material. Ah, that's maybe why. Maybe why. Use the parent material. And do I need to do that to all of you guys? Because that's gonna be an issue. Oh, that's gonna take so long. Ah. Yeah, okay. When I use the parent material, it works. That's for sure. But... God, is it a pain in the ass to set up. I mean, that works. That's true, that works. But gosh dang, is it annoying? I mean, that works. That's the thing. That works, but like... I need to use the parent material all the fucking time. Can't I cascade the material by default? Can I do that? Maybe what I'm doing is not a good idea. I mean, thing is, everything in 2D is apparent, is a canvas item, so that explains why. But yeah. How does that look? Yeah, of course it wouldn't change, so yeah. Oh, this is an issue actually. Because it's supposed to modify how... Do I have that in the scene manager? Oh wow. Scene manager, is that what I do in the scene manager scenes? Not this one. What is the one that changes? It's in the overlay, I think. Overlay, get through, side change, connect. Yeah. Something like that that I use. That I might have to use as well, just to... Alright. Because then I can actually do that for the resized. But but then it means everything should be resized like that, right? Because if I do that and then I do that, yeah, should not be doing that. So my system is Spoopy. You know what? That's gonna be a problem for future me. I know that's a sad way of setting the thing, but that's gonna be a problem for future me. I don't give a shit for that. But yeah. I'm gonna regret the decision, but whatever. So now, I can remove the print because of course it's saturating the output. It's not really a good idea to have any print for nothing. The pause menu works to a certain extent. We can just do the continue to just stop and stuff, whatever. I'd like to do a modification though. So it's called in the globals, managers, and modify that after because it's not supposed to be a global anymore, but whatever. We want menu manager again. I'd like pause menu, or I want menu.gd. That's gonna be our new class name. Class name menu. Do you accept that name? Perfect. Extends control, and what I want is when you quit, when you call quit on the menu, basically. So when you lose the focus, it should be doing something, or it should throw I'm quitting, just like that, just easy. So signal to goal in that case, or toggled in that case, which would be open with a bool. So that's our friend. And then we want a ready or whatever. We don't know, we don't want that. So we want the signal toggle for all of that. Or maybe more simplistically, just a closed signal, just closed, because then easy signal closed. I'm gonna warning ignore unused signal because fuck you, I guess. And yeah, okay. So that's what I want for both. So for pause menu and for inventory menu. And then I just want, you know what? I'm gonna be easier like that. I just want a function that is closed. So func close. That's gonna do that. And so in that case, what we do is we just close dot emit. Easy. We just say we finished. And so in that case, the menu manager can actually change the way it works, because I close the menu. I can just find the node and just try to open it, and it does whatever the fuck it wants. Which in my opinion is a bit better than that. So it offsets the logic to the simple menu. So func open, I think that's fine by me. And so signal open just for that. So in the end we want open the emit. So we have the info that you can connect if you want. And so close menu, I can just do that without the control. I can just do that for the menu itself. So here, up. Sorry, I can do pop up, up, up. I don't need that. Get post false and open the emit. Okay, so this is the close. This is the close one. Control. This is the close one. And now I want that to be right. Sorry. All right. Right. Perfect. And so we want to close the menu, so we get the control, and then so we want it to be a menu, by the way. Our menus in current scope. Wow, that is mean. You should have it, but sure. Menu to close. Menu, I want you to be a menu, and then I want you menu dot open. So easy. But now you don't want to know that menu. You can't find menu in the current scope. That's cute, but there is a menu, I can tell you. Do I need to rename that to something like iMenu or something like that? Just apparently not. You can't find it anyway, so pretty interesting. Sure. Sure. Let me try again. You still can't find the menu in the current scope. This is not nice, but fine, I guess. Maybe because it's never used. And now? You can, because it needs to be used. Yeah, okay. Otherwise the, okay. So now, whatever, I think it works. So then what I wanted to do again? If you close and you open, you do something. Yeah, I mean, it's already done, so whatever. So now, new. Perfect. Oh wow. Still not working. Why? Oh yeah, I know why. Because if I remove that, that's not gonna be okay. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, okay. Doesn't change nothing, but that's fine. So, typically speaking, we're supposed to have the inventory as well. But now, I like to have a texture rect again, just to be sure that I can actually have a texture rect, because the backbone of my system will need those. So, new placeholder texture. Scale, I want the layout to be an anchors and correct again. So like that. If I do that, you're supposed to see that. And then for the material, I wanted to use the parent material. And now, would that work? No. Again, not wanting to show your ass. That's impressive. That you don't want to show yourself like that. Because if I do that, you clearly can see it. So now if I go into the player composition, you don't see it. Wow. In the player composition, you don't see it, but you see it there. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I'm still shading, but that's using an old version of the scene. Nah, I mean, there's no way. No, of course. Yeah, it's a pointer to the fucking scene, yeah, thank god. Yeah, it's fine. But then... texture rec is here. I can tell you better, so why? Menu management. Always a fun. Yeah. It exists, it's supposed to have it. It actually... so why? The material is the good as well, so it's supposed to be on top of everything. Do I need to order you? Z as relative is important here. But for you, you don't need to be Z as relative. Or maybe you do, actually. And then, do you need to be bigger in terms of position? Do you need to be higher? Like, to be 100? I don't know. No, still. The placeholder texture is not showing. You're supposed to take the entire space. That's weird. That's weird. You're supposed to take the entire space. Also, process I would like to be when always. Okay, hold on. Process when in the parent scene 3 pose is true, it is universe pose will start processing when scene 3 is pose is true. But it's only when screen pose is true, always. So yeah, we want it to be always. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yay, I saved the issue. The camera move when you pose. So yeah, this issue is solved, by the way. Yay, but still no texture rect. You know why I want texture rect? Because then I can imprint that on top of it, put a shader for Gaussian blur, and then have just the back blurred. That would be a good placeholder for the moment for actually making the pose menu. But since my texture rect is not working, I don't know why. And this is really frustrating, by the way, because why? Like, I even put that really on top, so do I even need to do it like that? That's the thing. Yeah, I still need to, okay. Still need you to be not relative. And on top of that... So then it's on top of everything. Still, no texture rect? I don't know why. I'm supposed to see that. That's what you're supposed to see normally. What happens if I decide to show it on the main scene? Because if it doesn't show on the main scene, we have an issue. Okay. And I'm just gonna do that. It works on the main scene. The texture rect spawns correctly. I see everything. It works. So why? See? It works. I have it working here. So why when I do... Wow. Yeah, because it's just doing whatever. But yeah. Doesn't make sense. Also, just to be sure, you're always... The main node should always be running. There is no pause for the main node. But then, no texture rect. That's so annoying. Why? Because I have that there. It's supposed to be on the camera. The camera is supposed to follow the players, so it makes sense to connect them. But then... Why? Why? I'm just... If I do that, what does that do? Actually... I think I already tried that, but yeah. It's so weird. Do I need to move the texture rect in terms of Z indexed? Do I need to change the position of the index to 1000 here? Is it what I need to do? No. I'm sure the problem is with the Z index, but I don't know why. The child conversative node with a higher Y position are rendered in front of the nodes with a lower Y position if forced, and this and child conversative node are rendered normally in the scene tree order, with Y sorting enabled on parents A node, but disabled on child node, the child node is sorted in string and rendered together on the same Y position as the child node. This allows you to organize the render order of a scene without changing the scene tree, not sort relative to each other, only if they are on the same Z index. I'm baffled that it doesn't work. Z as relative, and then you are not relative, you're on 1000, so you are above everything. And yet... it doesn't. And if I define you as top level... I mean, it doesn't change anything, but... yeah, come in. Okay, if I define you as top level, the camera works still. Does it work also when moving? Yeah, so no problem here. But now... we have a little problem. Oh wow. Actually, I have the light shown. Huh. We need to change that as well. Yeah. Not really, actually. I think it's useful. No, yeah. It's a useful feature. Still need to be... Fuck. I'm gonna die. I mean, he stopped running at me. I mean, yeah, at least there is a pause menu. It's not really an inventory menu, but there is a pause menu. Still, no texture. I need that. I need the texture so I can actually work on the fucking inventory. If I fix that problem, everything is done. Not everything, but you know what I mean. If I stick... I don't know why. Why would you not be on top? Is it because I'm using the parent material? Is it why? No! I'm losing my shit. I'm losing my shit. I'm losing my shit. It's so annoying. Yeah. Evaluating expressions. Oh. Oh, you can pass expressions in school. I'm doing everything else than just reading the thing. Yeah. Canva layer, viewport and canvas, rendering. I'm missing something. I'm missing something. I'm sure I'm missing a fundamental thing. It should not be so hard to make any type of menu that doesn't make sense. I'm missing something. Rendering, so viewport and canvas, transport Canva layer. Scripting shader, 2D, data instruction, 3D. Rendering optimization. Palette.io, internationalization, input handling, math, navigation, networking, performance, physics, platform specific plugin, rendering, scripting, shaders. Why is it? Oh, okay. I'm missing something. User interface here. Guy skinning and theme, public and restricts level, okay. Control node, there are many different types of control. That's what I'm using exactly. GUI control node tutorial. Let's try that. No, okay, just for the BB code. Can I see something with the texture rect? Am I missing something? Okay, texture rect, because the rest seems to work. Probably. I control that display the texture, for example, an encode inside a guy. This texture replacement can be controlled with the stretch mode property. It can scale tile or stay centered inside the bounding rectangle. That's it. That's the only thing you have. The rest is just because it's inherent from Canva item and control and node. Node, Canva item, control. Yeah. Do you need no? No. That's no. That's surely no. So even if I use that, yeah, it doesn't change anything. Ordering, Z as relative, texture. Process fitting auto-translator description, so no. Imagine that I spontaneously decide to put the thing on top. So instance of shall not seen again. We want the menu manager. If I do that, first element, does that work? Where's my fucking menu manager? Thank you. Okay, let's do that. And imagining, yeah, it's the last one. Okay, so this is interesting because now if I instantiate that, it spawns there, which makes sense because it's anchored at the center of the scene, and the center of the scene here is the center of the scene there, as you can see. It's above everything. If I remove the canvas modulate, it doesn't change a thing. So this is not a problem with canvas modulate, it's a problem with the fundamental logic behind the texture rect and stuff, which also is an issue then, because now, okay, so it's an issue actually, because then another solution that I can find to do that is to swap the scene. But if I do that, it will free the rest of the scene, and then I will have to reload it, which is not a solution. It's a bad idea. So I don't want to free the scene, I just want it to spawn above on it and pose, that's it. But I want the texture rect to be above on it as well, and follow the camera, because it should be centered on camera, on the viewport, not centered on the scene, where it originates from, because the player composition will technically not move. So it still needs to be on the camera. I'm limited by that, but then what the fuck? Why the fuck don't you want to be ordered correctly? If I order the camera, even put that top level, but effectively it is a plus of a shade of a bear node, so it's great. This is what you want. This is what you want. And it still follows the position of the player because it's a 2D node. So I need to change the name of that song because it's theft, not thief. Okay. I'm losing my mind. All of that because of fucking texture rect. But like, there is nothing else that exists that I can use. Because then you see there, it will gonna move, but then didn't I do something similar for the overlay? Camera overlay, which is next to the texture rect. That I did that, it doesn't really change anything, I could just not use that system or whatever. And all of that, I have a blur shader here. And I have my delay camera overlay that actually works. Oh, hold on. I know why. Because game camera is a fucking scene. So, of course, that will play. Top level. Also, I'm just... Yeah, it still doesn't work. But then... if I do that, first it's a bit better because now I have the menu manager here, which makes more sense to some extent. But now, yeah, that's a bit better than having it somewhere else, that's for sure. Still the texture rec doesn't work, but then if I do that, this texture rec function, it works. This texture rec, because this is a texture rec, okay? This texture rec's function is just a blur, as you can see, just blurring. And it works. So this is weird, because when I use it in the control node, it does not, but if I do it, yeah. Can I make a control node follow the viewport without putting that on a camera? Make a control node follow viewport. Viewport. Have a canvas layer node to actually pin it to the viewport. See the relevant tutorial here. Is that simple? Okay. 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 That's, yeah. Okay. 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 So I did miss something. Yeah. I missed something. Yeah. That's just, yeah. Yeah. I missed something. Yeah. Yeah. I told you I missed something. I feel fucking dumb, but I missed something alright. So now it's rendered independently of whatever the fuck is going on, right? It's supposed to be a UI. Yeah. So now if I do that... Oh yeah, it's supposed to be a nice little control second layer. Doesn't change nothing, but yeah. I'm gonna try again. That works better. Also, that's pretty fucking awful, but that works better. Yeah. No, like, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm seeing on the return of the stream when I do that. If you're epileptic, I'm so fucking sorry. But yeah, okay. We can remove that shit, alright? But, yeah. Yeah, that's just, yeah. I just did a fucking kind of LA. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. 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 So I can actually do it better. If not enabled, you do nothing, boy. And so, up. Yeah, no, I said, yeah. I'm so mad. Okay. Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah. Just needed to use a fucking, yeah. No, like, yeah. There was nothing to say, it's just, yeah. Punk, to goal. To goal, just to goal, I think. Easy, and then void. And so enabled equals enable. Can you do it like that? No, I think you can't. So yeah, it's fine. Okay. Easy. I hate my life, but it works. So now I don't want the class name menu manager because we're gonna not have it on the camera. We don't need that. We will actually have that on the project settings. Gosh, I feel so fucking dumb. But yeah, that explains a lot. Menu manager. Hold on, I think my cat actually... I think my cat locked herself up again. Hold on. Nope, she did not. Okay, that's fine. That's fine, she did not. Okay, but still. Also, then in the main scene, do I need that to be a control? No, it could be a canvas layer. And then I need to change the type of canvas layer. Doesn't change nothing, but it's important that the main is just a canvas layer, I think. So everything makes sense. So I can remove game camera, I don't need to touch that, I don't need to touch that. And so in the menu manager, I will need to open the scene manager. And yeah, and so if we define the scenes, we might want some modification, just so path. Okay, and we want another thing which we will call as menu false. And then, yeah, not showing comma. Thank you. And then we would like the same, but we want to do it there. So up, up, up. Not showing comma, and so you otherwise would be true. And now in the scene manager, so the scenes will be an array of objects, because I need to know an array of dictionary. An array of dictionary in that case, and so it's important, because then gets sent to path. And if, you know what, I think it's better to actually do it in the menu manager instead of having toggle. Toggle with a value. I think enable wall, and so just want it to be enable. Easy, and so now we want to do menu manager toggle, and so we want the scenes id.as menu. Pretty easy. If you're equal okay, we toggle and then we immediately change the scene. So normally what happens now is if I do that. Oh yeah. Yeah, I can't type that. I forgot about that. It's not possible to type those. I decided to put type there. Yeah, you can't type it. That's one of the mini issue of running from JSON, but that's fine. So I can't pause here. But he doesn't want to change to path. Apparently you're unable to find the path. Interesting. Markdown dictionary JSON content, okay. How do I fill the scenes? Parse scenes flow file. File access file exists. File access get file as string. Where files you couldn't be loaded. Just parse content as dictionary. And so I get just the scenes, which is my friend that I have here. So yeah. So let's try again. Path as menu. Go to scene by ID. And now I have a debugger on error, which is error calling scene pressed callable, but call with 0. Canvas layer, okay. So it's in the calling of the main menu. What did I change in the main menu? I changed the control, right? So scene manager, go to next scene, current scene +1. Okay, pressed method accepted 1 but call with 0. Okay. Did I change the node? No, actually, it's... yeah. The signal is good. Edit. Oh, you have no arguments. Wow. Wow, why? That's interesting. You removed all the arguments that I decided for you? Interesting. Okay. Add an extra argument, okay. Okay. If I edit you, I add you as 0. I know you cannot connect because it's already connected, but you remove the arguments. That's interesting. While the callable is null. Okay. Okay. Perfect. So now I know if you have a menu or not in the scene. Okay. Cool. So that's done. I mistakenly had to fix that, but whatever, that's done. I guess. Don't need to print an ID because you have the path, so it makes sense. So I'm okay with that. So now menu manager, which is that's on the right script. That's the right script. Yeah, thank you very much. Now that everything is done, everything has been defined. We need to make the inventory. So, what do I have in mind for the inventory? I want... So that's the screen. I might want to have tabs here. So for the inventory, you have the notes. I want here to have the state of the user. The middle will just be small squares of items. Big. And then, yeah. So I suppose a VBox container first. Good question, actually. Container item list is useful. Vertical list of items selectable with one or multiple columns. So that's what we want. And we're gonna use that for the middle part. 9 patch. A controller display texture by keeping its color intact but styling its edge and centers. Okay, a panel. A reference rec. Directional hint for designing UIs. That's something for me. I don't need the tree. We can have a separator, that's cool. A range, which is progress bar, spin box, texture progress bar, okay. Texture rect, text edit, color rect, craft edit, paste button. Button, you have check button, menu button, option button. A button that brings up a drop down with selected option when pressed. And it's not what I want. What I want is a button that you select and you move from one or the other. But I can live with that. I mean, I can just use that as a binary choice. Makes more sense to me. In terms of containers, I have a box container, flow container, graph element. Okay. Grid container. I don't know if it's started controlling the grid layout. Scroll, sub viewport container, tab container. A container that creates type for each child control, displaying only. Oh. Okay. This is really important. That's the type container. That's really important. So now that we have our container for that for the tab, we might want sure. We might want that. Okay. Okay, so I need to take that into account. I still want it to be a VBox. So, okay. I'm just gonna name that to the inventory. So items and state container, just so we have the information. And then I want a new child node, I suppose, container, and I want it to be a grid container for the node. The nodes container. For the nodes is more like, I'm calling that nodes, but let's just call it lore container. That's gonna be just a tab for all of the little thing you find in the game that helps you with the lore, helps you with helps you with the current puzzle and stuff, and they are arranged from new to old, so you can actually find those. Or maybe not, just actually in order from when you're supposed to find them. That would be interesting, actually. Do it like that. So it helps finding them. Yeah, okay. Because the type container needs to go one or the other. That's cool. Do your active type rearrange pre-pop press? Change and change the int. Okay. Perfect. We might want a VBox container again. Here. I'll be powering this one and either child node, which is a check button. What would that look like? Yeah, maybe because you need the layout, I need you to be anchored, to be full. And I would like to show you. Okay. Oh, I don't need that. Oh, that's cool. I actually don't need that. Okay, that's perfect. I can just do that. Because it's already defined. Oh, that's cool. I take that. Oh. Oh, wow. Oh, that's nice. That's nice, okay. Current tab 0, but could be 1, okay. Tab alignment center, I think. Okay, oh, that's cool. There is already that, so okay, cool. They need to change the name of those, but yeah. I don't know you change the name, but... Okay. I wonder how you actually name those. Sorry, I wonder how you actually name those. That would be interesting to know. So, okay. I'd like a child node which is gonna be a grid container again. Grid container. So the grid container should contain items. So column we want probably 5. And then I'll just add a ton of blocks. Programmatically, of course, we're not savages. But yeah, for all the items. Okay. So if I do that, then I just need... So this is now a range, right? That was the name. Yeah, okay. I think the name of the control was ranged, but yeah. Scroll bar, slider progress bar. Control used for visualization of a representation of a percentage. And life or stamina bar, so yeah, that's pretty much what you need. So that would be something like a progress bar. Or texture progress bar, but yeah. Just so I see that. Interestingly enough... film of begin to end. Can I change your layout? Just not being irritated, but like you're a bit big, no? I think you're a bit big. You're a bit big. You're a bit big. I dislike the fact that you're extremely big like that. But sure. I can change your size then, just... Well, I can't apparently. It's actually filling the entire thing, no matter what. Use container for okay. Can I change the content? Oh, that would be cool. But yeah, layout, direction, transform, okay. I mean, I could change that size, just to be sure. I could, yeah. Could divide that by 2, so... 640. And then your position should be 320, because it's the start of the position here. And I'd like your position to be centered. So... Or maybe not centered, but yeah. Though in terms of height, I guess I want you to span the entire thing. Or... Let's say... Yeah. And then I want you to have a plain tenor on top. Not necessarily the best way of doing that, I know, but it's a solution, I guess. I might want you to be... minus 320... No. Yeah. Like that, and then in terms of positioning... I'd like you to be positioned not at 0, but at 320 divided by 2. So yeah. Perfect. So now we have this. We have the grid container that would be here. In terms of layout, size, so yeah, it does everything, so that's fine. You have the progress bar. But then I'd like you to change the progress bar. I'll change the size. Container sizing, yeah. Shrink begin, something like that. Because you can do that and then end. Or fill. Or just end, I think. What do we expand? And I'd like you to be a bit bigger. Because filling you is an issue for me. Oh, but I know what I can do. I cannot fill you, but I can add a margin container just for the margin and then move the bar there. And so the margin container then, in terms of layout, container sizing should be shrink begin and shrink end, expand, fill. And then for you, I want you to be filling, but you, I want you to have margins. So theme overrides constant margins. I'd like a big margin on the room. Right, so probably... So I know what I want. I want a 10 pixel margin here. For the bottom, I want a 10 pixel margin as well, so you're not directly inside the thing. And I want a big margin for the life. You... Ooh. That would be something if I do it like that. I like that. It could also be just a 400. Perfect. And so I can have like here the play states container. So just we have that. Here would be life, for example. And so we get that ID. Should be textured, but you know, can change that type later. And then for transform, container sizing, fill and fill, expand. So you expand, but I'd like you to have also to be inside the margin container. So just that. Same ID, container sizing, fill, expand, and I'd like to do a theme override and having a margin top of a clean 10, a margin right of a clean 10, a margin bottom of a clean 10, and a margin left of a clean 10. So now the grid container is contained inside that, a bit separated. I like that. Yeah, I like that. And so we have everything here. Could be blurry behind, so probably add a child node, which is the texture rect here. No, not the text edit. So add a child node, the texture rect. Would like it to be there. It's gonna be the background. And same, you can be also the background. Cool. And now we have something that looks okay. In the grid container, I will need multiple small containers that I need to define. And that's the one I need to define and then I need to generate. But yeah. But at the moment, we have an interface to a certain extent. So I'm okay with that. I like that, actually. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think it's okay. So we have items and state container, log container, we have that, we have the value. So pretty simple. I don't think we need more than what I defined here. We can move to the log container, which will just be that. So just a grid with all the items. Supposedly all in their margin container, that's for sure, but yeah. Items container, items grid, so everything has a meaning. VBox container is okay. Okay. I think it's cool. I think we have something that is not bad. And I'm tired. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm tired. Didn't do a lot, that's for sure, but I still did something. But I'm tired. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stop the stream today. It was a nice stream. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll do some Hunt Showdown. That would be different, but yeah. I thank you all for watching. Have a nice evening, people. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow for Hunt Showdown. And on Monday, we'll continue our adventure of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. Yay! Alright, have a fantastic evening, people. Bye!